Hello everyone, Chris Lashavo with I Think Realty, soon to be RE/MAX Heritage Professionals. And we are here at the end of another month, end of February 2023. So our stats for January 2023 are available. So let's get into the numbers. So for Polk County, Florida, we had 855 closed sales compared to 1,186 in January 2022. That's a decrease of 27.9%, which seems to support the national story, that the housing market is slowing. But there's some other numbers that maybe suggest otherwise for Florida. Cash sales as a percentage of closed sales, 25.6% of all sales were cash sales in Polk County compared to 32.7% a year ago, a decrease of 21.7%. Median sales price, $313,013 compared to $292,000, an increase of median sales price of 7.2%. Average sales price, $318,688 compared to $299,774, an increase of 6.3%. So home prices in Polk County actually went up year over year. That suggests we are not in a housing market crash by any stretch of the imagination. Median percent of original list price, sellers received 95.4% of list price compared to 100% a year ago, a decrease of 4.6%. So sellers are still missing the mark a little bit in terms of looking at the market and what it's currently doing, and they're overpricing their homes by a little bit. So what that means for you as a buyer is you probably don't need to offer asking price or above asking price in our current market in most situations. There may be some situations where a home is very popular in a very popular area, well updated, well maintained, where you might have to do that still. But in general, it looks like there's a little more room for negotiation. Median time to contract, 37 days to go under contract compared to 11 days a year ago. That is a decrease of 236.4%. So from that perspective, definitely a slowing of the housing market with homes taking much, much longer to sell. And then median time to close or to sale, 86 days compared to 58 days, an increase of 48.3%. New pending sales, 1,278 compared to 1,497, a decrease of 14.6%. New listings, 1,544 compared to 1,566 a year ago, a decrease of 1.4%. So pretty similar in terms of numbers of new listings compared to a year ago, although it is down a little bit. Pending inventory, 1,905 compared to 2,250, a decrease of 15.3%. Active inventory, 3,579 homes active compared to 1,267. That's an increase of 182.5%. Note that most of that is not because of new listings, is because the listings that were already on the market are taking longer to sell. And then finally, month supply of inventory, we have 2.7 months supply of inventory compared to 0.9 months a year ago. That's an increase of 200%. And again, we are not in a buyer's market. We are still in a seller's market. We need to get to 6 months inventory to be balanced. So those are your numbers for Polk County, Florida. Let's talk a little bit about what that means. As we look at these numbers, they do suggest that the market is slowing, and I would actually, I think, use the term normalizing. What we had over the last several years during the pandemic was not, by any stretch of the imagination, a normal market. But what we have now is much more normal. It's certainly normal in terms of what we were experiencing before the pandemic. Are we in a balanced market? No, we are not in a balanced market. We'd need 6 months of inventory to be in a balanced market. So we're still in a seller's market. It feels like a buyer's market, though, because things have slowed so much. We're not seeing the bidding wars and the over-asking offers and things like that. So that's good news if you're a buyer. But I know that there's a lot of buyers that are still waiting on the sidelines because of interest rates. And interest rates this week actually went up to 6.5%. My thoughts on this are that the following. I think that interest rates are actually going to go down as the year goes forward. As we get into spring and summer, when actually the housing market tends to pick up nationally, and it still picks up here in Florida, although we have a very much a year-round market in Florida. I think that the competition is going to increase, but I also think interest rates are going to start to drop. Most experts expect interest rates to drop to the 5s by the end of the year, maybe even the upper 4s. And I think if that's the case, we're going to start seeing a buying frenzy again. And if we see that, that's going to mean a lot more competition for you home buyers out there. I think you might be better off looking at the market now and trying to purchase now, even though the interest rate's higher, and then when rates drop, going ahead and refinancing to the lower rate. I think you'll save yourself money in the long run by doing that. Otherwise, you're going to be in the market that you sat out of intentionally a year ago with the bidding wars and the over-asking offers and homes being sold in a day and all of that. If you didn't like that market, then now is the time to probably look at getting back into the market and maybe taking a shot at a home before the feeding frenzy begins again. Because the end of the day, the thing that's not changing, the underlying factor in the market, is supply and demand. And demand is fluctuating some, it's decreased some because of the higher mortgage rates. What isn't changing is supply. Supply is not increasing enough to offset the demand when it does go up. And we are so short on inventory nationally and specifically here in Florida that in the long run, we're going to still see prices going up. So now's a good time to get in the market. I've read several stories in the last week that still talks about Florida being one of the hottest markets, still being one of the places most people want to move to for a variety of reasons. You know, it used to just be about no state income tax and the weather. Now you can add politics, you can add, and in our area, people are moving to Central Florida. People are a little nervous at hurricanes at the coast, but they're more interested in looking at Central Florida, where you don't have to deal with storm surge from storms and things like that. I'm helping a couple clients make a move from having a winter home on the coast to something here in Polk County. So we're a popular area. We're halfway between Orlando and Tampa. And so I think the market's going to stay pretty hot here in Polk County for quite some time. If you have questions about the market, if you want me to analyze another area, just let me know. I'll be happy to do so. But for now, I'm covering Polk County and Winter Haven, where most of the business that I do comes from. But again, if there's another area you want me to cover, I'd be happy to do so. If you or someone you know is looking to buy or sell a home in Central Florida, I'd love to be the agent that you choose to help them. I take good care of my clients, and I look forward to helping them. Have a great day, everybody, and remember, I want to make your home buying and selling experience an epic one.